everyone. Into this video, we will be discussing the 6 principal organs of the United Nations. By the way, United Nations is an intergovernmental organization aiming to maintain peace and security, develop friendly relations among nations, achieve international cooperation, and be a center for harmonizing actions of the nations. United Nations has 6 principal organs: the General Assembly, Security Council, Economic and Social Council, Trusteeship Council, and the Secretariat. The first is the General Assembly. General Assembly is the main deliberative policy-making and representative organ of the United Nations, comprising all 193 member states of the United Nations. It provides a unique forum for multilateral decisions of international issues, including peace and security. The General Assembly is empowered to make recommendations to states on international issues within its competence. It has also initiated actions in political, economic, humanitarian, social, and legal, which was benefited the lives of millions of people throughout the world. As defined in the Charter of the United Nations, the functions of General Assembly is to discuss, debate, and make recommendations on subjects pertaining to international peace and security, including development, disarmament, human rights, international law, and peaceful arbitration of disputes between nations. In General Assembly, the President has a one-year term. One of its example is Carlos Romulo in 1949 to 1950.
Good day, ma'am. Good day, classmates. Our topic is Security Council. There are 5 functions of Security Council. First, commission and investigative bodies. The Security Council has established a wide variety of commissions to handle a variety of tasks related to the maintenance of international peace and security. Second, group and panels. Finding groups and panels is part of the positioning panel field step, which is the third step in developing your dialogue system application. The third, international tribunals. International tribunals court are formed by treaties between nations or under the authority of an international organization, such as the United Nations, but exclude any court arising purely under national authority. Fourth, missions of the Security Council and the Secretary of the Security Council visiting the field have been happening since 1964. And in recent years, many of these missions have consisted of representatives of all 15 members of the Council, and the fifth, representatives, mediators, coordinators, and good offices. And there are power of United Nations Security Council. Under the United Nations Charter, the functions and powers of the Security Council are: first, to maintain international peace and security in accordance with the principles and purpose of the United Nations. The second, to investigate any dispute or situation which might lead to international friction. Third, to recommend methods of adjusting such a dispute or the term of settlement. Fourth, to formulate plans for the establishment of a system to regulate armaments. The fifth, to determine the existence of a threat to the peace or act of aggression and to recommend what action should be taken. And brief of our discussion is a brief of a Security Council. The United Nations Security Council is one of the 6 principal organs of the United Nations. charged with ensuring international peace and security, recommending the admission of new United Nations members to the General Assembly and approving any changes to United Nations Charter. Thank you. And
For the maintenance of international peace and security. The Security Council originally consisted of 11 members, 5 permanent and 6 non-permanent, elected by the General Assembly for the 2-year term. From the beginning, non-permanent members of the Security Council were elected to give representation to certain region or group state. An amendment to the UN Charter in 1965 increased the council membership to 15, including the originally 5 permanent members plus 10 non-permanent members. Among the permanent members, the People's Republic of China replaced the Republic of China in 1971 and the Russian Federation succeeded to Soviet Union in 1991. After the unification of Germany, debate over the council composition again arose, and Germany, India, and Japan each applied for permanent council seat. The function of Security Council. The Security Council has primary responsibility under the United Nations Charter for the maintenance of international peace and security. It is for the Security Council to determine when and where UN peace operations should be deployed. The power of security. The 15 members UN Security Council seek to address threat to international security. It is 5 permanent members chosen in the wake of World War have veto power. The Security Council fosters negotiation, imposes sanction, and authorizes the use of force, including the deployment of peacekeeping mission. And the last is operate to the brief discussion. The Security Council establishes a peace operation by adopting a Security Council resolution. The Security Council can vote to extend, amend, or end mission mandates as is deemed appropriate under Articles 25 of the Charter. All UN members agree to accept the carry out the decision of the Security Council. And that's all.
Secretariat. The Secretariat of an organization is the department that fulfills its central administrative or general secretary duties. The term is especially associated with governments and intergovernmental organizations such as the United Nations. Although some non-governmental organizations, for example, the International Organization for the Standardization, also refer to their administrative department as their secretariat. The building or office complex that houses such a department may also be referred to as its secretariat or secretariat building. In some cases, the secretariat is non-bureaucratic organ, but one which includes certain organizations run by all its members who collectively help to organize the larger group, such as the Secretariat of the International of Anarchist Federations, which is an office that rotates regularly between its member federation. The Zhongshu Sheng, or simply the Secretariat, was one department in the 3 department and 6 ministries structure in the history of China. Central administration is the leading or presiding body or group of people and the highest administrative department which oversees all lower departments of an organization. General Secretary occurs as the title of a ministerial position of authority found in various organizations such as trade unions, communist and socialist parties, and international non-governmental organizations. Government is the system or group of people governing an organized community, generally a state. An intergovernmental organization is an organization composed primarily of sovereign states, referred to as member states, or of other organizations through formal treaties for funding, serving common interests, and governed by international laws. The United Nations Secretariat is one of the 6 major organs of the United Nations, with the others being the General Assembly, the Security Council, the Economic and Social Council, the defunct Trusteeship Council, and the International Court of Justice. The Secretariat is the United Nations executive arm. The Secretariat has an important role in setting the agenda for the deliberative and decisions-making bodies of the UN. The General Assembly, Economic and Social Council, and Security Council, and the implementation of the decision of these bodies. The Secretary General, who is appointed by the General Assembly, is the head of the Secretariat. Non-governmental organization. Non-government organization, or simply an NGO, is an organization that is generally formed independent from government. The International Organization for Standardization is an international standard setting body composed of representatives from various national.
Hello, good day everyone. I'm Chris Milan Neglimaso. My topic today is about Social and Economic Council. The Economic and Social Council is at the heart of the United Nations system to advance the 3 dimensions of sustainable development: economic, social, and environmental. It is the central platform for fostering debate and innovative thinking, forging consensus on ways forward by coordinating efforts to achieve internationally agreed goals. It is also responsible for the follow-up to major UN conferences and summits. The UN Charter established ECOSOC in 1945 as one of the 6 main organs of the United Nations. Before that, the coordination with the UN ECOSOC links a diverse family of UN entities organigram dedicated to sustainable development, providing overall guidance and coordinations. The entities include regional economic and social commissions, functional commissions facilitating intergovernmental and discussions of major global issues, and specialized agencies, programs, and funds and work around the world to translate development commitments into real change in people's lives. Reforms over the last decade, particularly General Assembly Resolution 68/1, have strengthened ECOSOC, leading role in identifying emerging challenges, promoting innovations, and achieving balance, promoting innovation and sustainable development. Economic and social environmental, ECOSOC is charged with giving special attention to coordinate follow-up with a major conference of UN and summits. by partnerships with the rest of the world, building on its coordination role within the UN ecosystem. ECOSOC is a gateway for UN partnership and participation by the rest of the world. It offers a unique global meeting point for productive dialogues among policy makers, parliamentarians, academics, foundations, business, youth, and over 3,200 plus registered non-governmental organizations. In global issues, each year ECOSOC structures its works around an annual theme of global importance to sustainable development. This ensures focused attention among ECOSOC's array of partners and throughout the UN development system. By emphasizing and combined economic, social, and environmental concerns, ECOSOC encourages agreement on coherent policies and actions that make fundamental link across all three. By United Nations and Social Council Chamber of United Nations Headquarters, abbreviation ECOSOC, formation June 26, 1945, 76 years ago. Founder Arkot Ramasamy Mondalya. Type: Principal organ of the United Nations. Legal status: active. Headquarters: New York, United States, Geneva. President: Munir Akram. It serves as a central forum for the discussing economic social council issues and formulating policies recommendation addressed to member states on the United Nations system. In addition to rotating for membership, 54 UN member states, over 1,600 non-governmental organizations.
Economic and Social Council is one of 6 principles of the United Nations. They are responsible for coordinating the economic and social fields of the organization. Specifically in regards to the 15 specialized agencies and the 8 functional commission and 5 regional commission under its jurisdiction. The 54 members of the UN have 5 dimensions of states. Number 1 here is the African state. They have 14 nations in there. The Eastern European state also have 6 nations. The Latin American and the Caribbean states have 10 nations. The Western European and other states have 13 nations. And lastly, our Asia Pacific states that have 11 nations. The President of the Council is elected for a 1-year term and chosen from the small and medium-sized state represented on the Council at the beginning of each announced session. The presidency rotates among the United Nations regional groups to ensure equal representation in the present president now in ECOSOC is Munir Akram. He came from Pakistan. I repeat, the present president now is Munir Akram. He came from Pakistan. The following are some of the other bodies that the Council evinces in some capacity. The standing committees are Committee for Program and Coordinating, or CPC, Committee on Non-Governmental Organization, or CNGO, Committee on Negotiation with Intergovernmental Agencies, or CNIA. Now, I will give only 2 examples of bodies because we are running out of time. In the expert bodies, I repeat, I will give only two examples of bodies. In expert bodies, Committee for Development Policy, or CDP, Committee on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, or CESCR. There are 9 examples of expert bodies, but I told you guys I will only give 2 because we are running out of time. Now, we will go to the subsidiary bodies. These have only 3 examples. System Chief Executive Board for Coordination, or CEB. And second is High Level Committee on Management, or HLCM. And third is High Level Committee on Programs, or HLCP. And now, the question of all listeners, what are the major of responsibilities of the UN Economic and Social Council? What are the several function commission associated with it? We will be direct to the point, guys. It acts as a focal point for encouraging and articulating debates, creative thinking, and initiative to put internationally agreed upon resolution into action. It is also in charge of organizing UN conference and summit, and they will meet 4-week session per year. So that's all.
Trusteeship Council is one of the main organs of the United Nations that authorize to examine and discuss reports from the administering authority on the political, economic, social, and educational advancement of the people of trust territories. It was established to supervise the administration of trust territories as they transitioned from colonies to sovereign nations. The Trusteeship Council was suspended its activities in 1994 when Palau, the last original 11 trust territories, gained its independence. Trusteeship is the supervision of trust territories placed under it by individual agreements with the states administering them. The Trusteeship Council is made up of the 5 permanent members: the China, France, Russia, United States, and the United Kingdom.
The International Court of Justice, sometimes known as the World Court, is one of the 6 principal organs of the United Nations. It settles dispute between states in accordance with international law and give advisory opinion on international legal issues. The ICJ is the only international court that adjudicates general dispute between countries with its ruling and opinions serving as primary sources of international law. The ICJ is the successor of the Permanent Court of International Justice, which was established in 1920 by the League of Nations. After the Second World War, both the League and the PCIJ were replaced by the United Nations and ICJ, respectively. The status of the ICJ, which set forth its purpose and structure, draw heavily from that of its predecessor, whose decision remained valid. All member states of the UN are party to the ICJ statute and may indeed continuous cases. However, advisory proceeding may only be submitted by certain UN organs and agencies. The ICJ consists of a panel of judges elected by the UN General Assembly and Security Council for 9-year term. No more than one judge of each nationality may be represented on court at the same time, and judges collectively must reflect the principal civilization and legal system of the world. seated in Peace Palace and the Netherlands. The ICG is the only principal UN organ not located in New York City. Its official working language are English and French. Since the entry of its first case on 22 May 1947, the ICG has entertained 179 cases through March 2001. After Second World War, both the LEG and the PCIG were replaced by the United Nations and ICG respectively. The state of the ICG, which set forth its purpose and structure, draw heavily than that of its predecessor, whose decision remain valid. All member states of the UN are part to the ICG state and may only submitted by certain UN organ agencies. The ICG consists of panel of is judge elected by the UN General Assembly and Security Council for 9 years term. No more than judge of each nationality may be represented on court at time, and judge collectively must reflect the principal civilization and legal system of the world. Sealed in the Peace Palace in the Hague, Netherlands, the ICG is the only principal UN organ not located in New York City. That's